All right, welcome into hour two. Let's keep this trainer rolling here, man. The chat is lit up. I want to thank everybody for making us a part of your Monday morning. Wish it was a victory Monday, but again, there's some positives to take away. There's a lot of negative too, and we'll try to cover it all. Let's go to social media real quick. You guys keep marking chats, all right? Anything you think is interesting there, we will put it up. Let's just try not to feed the trolls. That's all I ask. Please do not feed the trolls. If you get the same 2 or 3 guys that's just throwing negative comment, let's just don't even acknowledge it. This was interesting to me. You know, we're kind of talking about, Nick McSwain, hit that like button. Appreciate you, buddy. If you guys will take a quick second, hit like, sub to the channel, all that good stuff. If you don't like this, just pretend like you never saw it, right?
Share it too, guys. Sharing helps a lot more than you think. Let other people know about us.
Don't share it if you don't like it, though, because I know what's coming with that. You know what I mean? It's going to be, hey, guys, make sure you don't check out this show. It's garbage.
Nah, share it.
We do that enough on here. So
we're going to send this guy after him.
Ooh. All right.
He's on a roll.
This was interesting. You know, like we just kind of walking around Twitter. Did you guys see Pat McAfee roast the Colts?
Yeah. Yeah. After the Colts fan base tried to roast him.
We do not have time to read the whole comment. I'm not going to read any of it. But if you guys haven't kept up with this, Pat McAfee all year long has been in this rift with the Colts because he caught wind. He and Peyton Manning caught wind that there were people skipping meetings, skipping treatment, this and that. And he's a season ticket holder, right? He's shelling out hundreds of thousands of dollars from what I understand over the last few years to be a season ticket holder with one of those nice boxes. He supports the team. You see him up there banging on the anvil, and he's in Indianapolis. He could go to any other city. He stayed in Indy because of the Colts and all that stuff, right? And I'm not saying Pat's perfect. He can be an ass. We know that. We've seen that firsthand, right? But he put this long, drawn-out thing basically saying this is what we were talking about. You're not going to win if you don't change the culture within the building. And he's been nominated for the Hall of Fame 3 times, right? He mentioned that in the tweet. Like, it's not like this is some scrub that doesn't know what he's talking about. He's one of the best punter. He won the PFF All-Decade team as the punter, okay? So you guys know who
he punter, he would have still played football because he's a football player.
Right.
He always jokes about that. He decided to be a punter because he didn't want to run.
And you got to see people prepare like Adam Vinatieri, Peyton Manning, right? Reggie Wayne, all those guys, right? Those type of players. Later on, Andrew Luck, who, man, if he hadn't decided to hang it up, probably would have been a Hall of Famer, to be honest with you. He was just absolute stuff. So he's got to see what excellence looks like. And all he was doing all year was drawing this comparison, go, boys, this ain't it. Like, this is – if you guys are skipping meetings and you don't really care about the treatment and this and that, you're not going to go anywhere. So anyway, long drawn out, I just said – you got to see Darius Butler's comment. You guys know Darius Butler played with him in Indianapolis. Darius Butler is one of the smartest DBs to ever play the game. I'm not going to read the thing here, but this is his memoir here, okay? You see how long he went off, right? But look at this. Look at the first comment, and it's Darius Butler. I spit my daddy's soda out last night. That ain't even it. That's T.Y. Hilton.
Yeah.
Again, former teammate, like, boy, I know this is going to go, right? Where's it at? I know it's in there. Look at Darius Butler.
JJ's in there too. Yeah. That's that.
Oh, CJ.
Who's that? CJ? Yeah.
Oh, man.
Can't do that.
And look at JJ Watt. Man, I wish it was Wednesday. So make sure you tune in to Overreaction Monday today on the McAfee Show. It's going to be hilarious. He's gonna talk about getting roasted by the fans, I'm sure, and he's still going to have a little bit of a rant. But that just cracked me up right there, man. That was hilarious. So
just a little side note too. I love Pat, obviously. And I was roommates with a good buddy of mine for a while, Josh, and he had I didn't know that Pennsylvania accents were a thing, but after living with my buddy Josh and then now watching Pat, it just brings me. He's got like that is a very unique accent. And if you, I don't know how to do that one. I've never been able to perfect it.
Yeah, the big thing that they do is anytime there's an AR, anytime there's an AR, they just turn it into an AH, right? Like instead of shout out, right? It's shout out. Right?
Yeah.
Shout out, right?
Water is different.
Yeah. Pick them up and put them down. You guys remember that? That video of that Yenzer watching the Pittsburgh game? We need to find that. I think he might have passed away because they did a big tribute to him. Just diehard Steeler fan, and he was tell him he need to pick him up and put him down. So anyway, I wanted to show that too, because it's like we're overreacting, right? I overreact, Tim overreacts, Jacob damn sure overreacts. We know this, right, Jacob? We can say we know the chat overreacts. We're not the only fan base, right? Pat is up. He's upset.
Gute Kunst.
Yeah, that's exactly how he calls Goody. Gute Kunst. Yeah. And people earlier were going, why is he making fun of Goody's name? He's not making fun of his name.
He's just talking, man. It's just the way he talks.
And him and the boys will over-exaggerate it because he knows it gets on people's nerves too. So anyway, let's go to this play real quick. All right. So here's a different angle, right?
Hey, can I just say something before we get into this?
Yeah, go right ahead, buddy.
So I'm absolutely done with this crap, because every single time we do ref watch and we get excited about the crew goes out and does the opposite of what the metrics show every single time. So we're going to blame Robert. We thought Carl Cheffers and his crew was going to keep the flags in the pocket, not call ticky-tack stuff, not miss important calls. And what happened? This happened.
And I don't want to sound like one of those fans, but they need to stick a step. When I was on my little hiatus there, I wasn't watching a lot of NFL because it was, in my opinion, unwatchable. The flags were just, you get so invested in a game and you watch somebody blow a call so bad that they can post it on social media and people basically consistently agree. It's like, figure it out. We got to figure out a way to review penalties as well, because it doesn't, I don't think it's going to make the game that much longer. It just won't. And honestly, if it makes it 10 minutes longer, throw another ad in there, pay for it. Who the hell cares? I want to get this game right. There's too much on in the line.
How many times have you watched an NFL game, a Packers game, and been like, God, this game's taking forever? I don't do that. I don't find myself doing that. Baseball, I put baseball on. You guys know I love baseball. Was the first love of my life, man. I sit down and watch a ball game. I make it to the second inning. I wake up and it's the seventh going, what the hell happened? What happened?
Nothing happened.
Exactly. Football, I never find myself going, this game's taking too long. Get the call right. So we don't have to. I would much rather be sitting here going, man, we just lost because we were the worst team. But you look at something like this and you're going, damn it, every week there's something where you're like,
cue the conspiracy music. I'm telling you, I think the league loves that we have these conversations and thinks that they're actually trying to get it right. I don't think them getting it right is even in the equation. I truly believe that. I hate to get all conspiracy on you, but I feel like these officials are being used to influence outcomes of ball games. There, I said it. Drag me over the coals if you want, but
I agree.
What it looks like, man.
Joe Nuts
looks like pro wrestling out there sometimes. I tell you,
Joe Nuts. If the name isn't enough, look at the profile pic. What is this? Is that a fish? I don't even. Anyway, he says they really called it because Edgerrin Cooper moved his finger. And what's crazy is
just the tip, though.
Tim, if you were to look at this, I can't get my cursor to show up without clicking on the tweet. Let's see. All right, which one do you think's offsides? For me, it would be him, if anyone. Right? No, that's Enigbare. This is Cooper.
He does creep up at the last. If you watch it live, he creeps just slightly, but he goes up like an inch.
Man, if you don't circle 76 on the Vikings and
look at the right guard.
Really offsides here.
What is the right guard doing?
Coach Lynn said, "Wait, pro wrestling isn't real."
Yes, it is.
Man,
Coach.
I just ruined Coach's life. Oh no!
Here's the thing that gets me, and we kind of talked about it yesterday. Is look at the guard. The guard's whole helmet is offside.
It's not even close.
So did these officials mean to throw the flag, make the call, and then they said instead of saying 76, they said 56 on accident, and these idiots called the penalty on the wrong team?
Dude, that's
we don't
not
have
a bad
a 76 on the field. We only had a 56.
Now, Tim, if they did that, they would have recognized it and corrected it, right? No, they refused to do that. How many times have we seen a challenge go, yeah, that's getting overturned? They go, it stands just like, what? Are we watching the same thing? Packers for Life said, so they caught a flag on the play, so we hit that one. There was one I marked just now. Where did it go? That I imagine I marked it. I thought about faking. You guys remember on Waterboy, the coach? He pretended to fake.
Thought about faking.
He thought pretended to fake. Anyway, there's something I was going to hit on there. I can't remember what it was. Hell, it don't. But again, this play here, it was about the dead ball foul, right? Yeah, here we go. Yeah, Packers for life. So they caught a flag on this play. Was it a dead ball or a live ball foul? So here's the deal. The guard being offsides, right? It would have been a re-kick anyway if they'd thrown the flag on him, which is cool. But guess what? If he's offsides and Edgerrin Cooper is offsides, then you just replay the down. Instead, it was they missed the kick, they called it on Edgerrin Cooper, and now they get 5 yards. God. And as we've seen, their kicker kept falling short on some of these longer kicks. Convenient. So 5 yards, he comes out, he hits the kick.
I do like the fact that Matt used the timeout there because we actually had timeout. We actually had timeouts, which was a refreshing change.
Nice, right?
But I thought that was the best timeout I've seen him call in a while. Oh yeah, okay, it's BS penalty. They're moving them up, line them up. Timeout. I love it. Make the kid think. You're right. We saw him doink too, and I gotta believe if they would have got that right, I don't think they get those 3. I really don't. He was struggling outside of 45, 50 yards.
Yeah, he was
in a dome. So
in a dome.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. So again, man, there's multiple things that resulted in the outcome of this game. I got you, but this is just this is the most textbook thing that you should be able to get right. I personally don't think there's a single Packer that's offsides here. I don't. Their guard. His helmet is offside. There's no doubt.
Clearly offside.
Listen, and I want people to understand me clearly here. If they don't throw the flag on Minnesota, I'm okay with it. I don't feel like his helmet being over the line is giving us a crazy disadvantage.
Right.
But if you're going to split hairs, split the damn hairs.
Then call an offsetting penalty or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now,
don't.
And if you don't throw this flag and they hit that field goal, I'm not sitting here going, but they had a guy offsides. I would not be doing that.
Yeah.
But the fact that you're going, call it on their people, don't call it on the other. Dude, there was several fans from other fan bases hitting me up going, boy, you guys are getting robbed. I didn't feel like it was that bad. When he said it, I went, yeah, we are getting robbed, right? But honestly, in real time, I didn't feel like that other than this call right here. This was the one where I was just like, could you screw up a more crucial call in this?
And there's literally a line judge staring right
That's
down
his
the line.
job.
That's literally your job, man. You had one job, man.
I'll highlight what Darren says right here, Darren Johnson, and we'll go back to talking Packers because he said I went from watching as many games as I could, Mondays, Thursdays, Sundays, I'm sure now Saturdays, and no matter what teams are playing, only to watch the Pack now because calling it a day because the officials are hot. That's exactly how I felt.
Not just the Packers games. We're not saying the Packers.
No. I'm saying around the NFL, it has been league-wide brutally bad.
That's true. It's so true. John in the chat, you think the Packers should throw more in the first quarter? And John, this isn't a shot at you, man. I'm just going to answer it honestly the way I feel. That's a very vague statement, right? There's a lot of factors that go in. If you're saying, yeah, let's just go out and throw more in the first quarter, that I do not subscribe to that, right? It comes down to
if we should, he's not saying we should. I think he's asking, but yeah.
No, yeah, absolutely. And that's what I'm saying. It's a vague, you don't just go, yep, we need to throw more in the first quarter, right? It comes down to the game plan that you're installing. What's the other team doing? What do they do on first downs? What are their first down looks? How do they attack certain, formations, right, with personnel? And it may make sense. Hey, look, it just so happens in the first quarter, we're going to come out and try to attack them with the passing game, given how they face up against 12 personnel or 11 personnel, whatever it may be, right? That's how you make those decisions. So if you were to say, would I rather the Packers throw more in the first quarter? You've got to choose one or the other. I would rather them prove they can stop the run as opposed to us come out and pass. That's me personally. And the thing that bothered me, and it's in Chalk Talk, it's going to be another 3-play sequence, which we've had a bunch of those this year. It's kind of cool. That 3-play sequence, you guys remember me texting you during the game? I usually try not to text much during the game, but you were averaging 5 yards a carry with Josh Jacobs early, right? In that first drive, you go down the field and you're taking chunks. Obviously, you got the fumble, you lose the ball. The very next drive, first down, incomplete pass. Second down, incomplete pass. Third down, incomplete pass, you punt. And from that point forward, your offense struggled the rest of the day. I hate that. Why in the hell you would not come out there and run the ball is beyond me. But again, The answer is, I guarantee you, and this is why I answered your question, John, the way that you kind of structured it there, was Matt LaFleur seen something to go, hey, we need to attack with the passing game here. It didn't work. I personally would rather I can stomach, hey, look, man, they shut us down. We tried to establish the run and we just couldn't get it going. I can handle that. What I can't handle are these self-inflicted, hey, let's come out and wing it around the yard. And next thing you know, we're down by however many points. What's crazy is even with that, we ended the first quarter leading 3-0, right? So it's not like that was the reason we lost. It's just that's frustrating to me as a fan. So
wasn't there a down or a situation where I swear we were on like maybe just got into Minnesota territory and it was like 3rd and 4 and we just housed one. We just threw a long bomb and I was like, why are we like, that's the only, I don't want to criticize the play calling too much because like you said, it happens with the situation. It's easy to take a step back and be like, oh, I wouldn't have done that. You should have done this. It's like, you have no idea what it's like with 30 seconds on the play clock. You got somebody yelling in your ear. There's 70,000 fans screaming. It's easy to get like lost as to how difficult it is to make a situational. I mean, that's why we have like screw ups. You know what I mean? It's why people have absolutely when they quote unquote poop the bed, don't slap me on the butt. I'll poop in your hand kind of thing. Like it's just, it happens, man. It happens.
I don't want to pat you on the butt and you poop my hand. So
thank you.
I appreciate you, John. Hopefully that answered your question. If it was a question, or again, that's just I'm a boring fan. I'm taking the 3 points every single time that we know, hey, look, there's more than a 90% chance of us hitting this field goal. I'm taking the 3 points. And on top of that, run the ball until they prove they can stop you. Right. So Jared Reyes in the chat says Jacob is referring to the deep shot to Melton on 3rd and 5 into double coverage. And again, that particular play, that doesn't mean it's a bad play call. Yeah. That's a bad decision by Love anytime you throw in a double coverage. I'm sorry. Right. Yeah. So, and Ryan talks about that a lot on Packernet podcast is like, just because the play doesn't work doesn't mean it's a bad play call, right? And it's so true.
Oh, true.
It could be the quarterback misread it. It could have been that the running back missed the cut. It could have been that 2 offensive linemen missed the block in the running game. There's a lot of factors, right? That goes back to that whole casual fan thing of just it didn't work. I'm going to say it's a bad play call. But to Jacob's point, 3rd and 5, I have a hard time believing. Let me just put it this way, Jacob. I have a hard time believing LaFleur said, all right, guys, 3rd and 5. Jordan, hell or high water. I don't care if it's still it. I know you're not saying that too.
Nah, yeah.
Drew D in the chat says that was a very ugly fumble by Jacobs, though. The ball didn't even get hit by the defender. It makes me think Jacobs is playing through an injury. I thought the defender, as he came around, the top of his hand hit
got punched. That ball got punched out.
I'm pretty sure it got hit. I could be wrong. I have to go back and watch it close. And it's hard to tell that stuff with the all-22, But that's the only bad thing about it. Sometimes with the telecast, they do a good job in those moments of, you could see, all right, 2 fingers slap the ball. It's pretty wild how the camera work is. But let's see here. Drew D says, today definitely showed us what Watson offers the team. We couldn't stretch the field without him. I think that's a very fair assessment there. You guys agree with that? It's amazing, too. And Drew is not one of these people. And I won't mention the names, but 4, 5, 6 weeks ago, it was Watson's overrated. And then the second Watson's out, it's those same fans are saying, well, Watson being out's the reason we lost this game. It's like, well, okay,
exactly.
What change? Yeah. Again, that's not Drew. what do you guys think about that? Do you think that you agree with that? What Drew's saying?
I think he's right. I think we should appreciate what we have in Christian Watson while we have him here. And I'll be the first to admit, I was we talked about in the post game. I felt like, you had asked who did we miss more, Quay or Scoot in this game, and I felt, obviously I felt Quay, but I look at it. I was very confident in Bo Melton going into this game. I had that next man up mentality. We still got some speed demons out there in that receiver room. But to Drew's point, it didn't work, and you got to think a guy like Christian Watson out there, as dynamic as he is, he puts a lot more pressure on guys like Harrison Smith in that secondary. And when you got a good defense that's like that, you need a field stretcher like Christian Watson. So if anyone didn't appreciate him before, after watching this game, they should appreciate him now, because you got to think, number one, even on a like a 9 route like that, you got a safety coming over or double coverage. Scoot's probably torching one of those guys. By the time that ball gets there, it's probably 1-on-1, and you give yourself a chance to make a play. It was really tough for Bo to stretch the field as fast as he is. That proved to be difficult. So I agree wholeheartedly with what Drew's saying here. I mean, it was really tough on our offense last night. That's why I think Jordan struggled so much. You're looking and just nobody's there. Nobody's there. Nobody's open. Where do you go with the football?
Go ahead, Jay. What were you going to say?
I was going to say I'll go even farther than what Tim said. I'll guarantee you that if Watson goes somewhere else, he's going to be a star in this league. I'll guarantee it. He has shown too much, and everybody, again, the casual ESPN fan is going to say, well, he gets hurt. We talked about that extensively in the offseason. The guy went to an absolute specialist where he had one of his legs was 20% bigger than the other, or you know what I'm saying? They figured it out. That's not the issue this year. They're going forward. The guy has a father that's been in a league. I know people scoff at that. That actually does help. Imagine if your father, who's probably the most influential person in your life, has actually played the profession that you're playing in, tells you how to handle it, tells you how to handle the press, the money, the fame, let alone all the freaking intricacies it takes to be a wide receiver in this league. He goes and does it. He shows it. If Christian Watson, I'll go back to this, and I hate that I have to say this. If Christian Watson makes that first catch of his NFL career on the first play to the Vikings long bomb, nobody's talking the same way about the way that he is right now. Does that make sense to y'all? They put in certain players' fans, he got a bad taste in their mouth right away, and they'll never change that narrative. Some people get stuck in their own little rut, and they're not going to leave it. I'm willing to change. I'm willing to grow. Christian Watson is going to be an absolute phenom in this league. I know it's going to happen. Whether or not the Packers decide to sign him or not, I think we should,
His receiving is tough.
And again, you overpay for good, you don't overpay you overpay for great, you don't overpay for good. Right. I think Watson is a good receiver. I don't think he's great yet. I think he can be great. I think he's got the physical makeup to be one of the best in the league. But right now, I would consider him good, not great, which means I will pay a little under market value for what he is. And that means his statistics, his playing time, all those things. We talk about the comps that Spot Track and these websites use. I'm not interested in paying Christian Watson $30 million a year. Not interested in that. I don't think anybody here is. But decent money, yes. And that's why I was saying I've seen enough with Watson and Dobbs. Go to them early. See if you can get a deal by negotiating early. That would be breaking crazy precedent with the Packers. They have never done that, right? So you can't expect that for sure. But Drew D, thank you, buddy. I agree there, man, about Watson completely, no doubt. Let's see here. Holmes MD1, run the ball, don't turn it over, take points, get off the field on defense. It's that simple. It is. Now, again, there's some situations, like I said, that they're going to stop the run and they're going to shut us down and they're going to force us into passing. I'm okay with that. I get that. But let's get to that. Let's just try to get to that point where we go, all right, guys, the running game ain't working. It just seems like we never truly get to that point, Omer says, yes, Tim, right. The ball was punched out. Cheesehead Murph, good to see, buddy. Says definitely got hit out. So
what up, Murph?
That's what I seen too. It really was. I felt like it did get punched out. Here is the other angle I want to show you guys, and we'll move on from this. And when you put tweets like this out, you go, you're either going to get roasted or people are going to agree with you, and you got to be prepared for both. It seems like the large majority of people agreed. There's like, hey, this wasn't. And here's former NFL quarterback.
That Kurt?
Kurt said fraudulent was the word. I said, can somebody explain this to me like I'm 5? And he put fraudulent. So you see, look at the guard's helmet, boys.
That's unreal. That's unreal.
And somebody in the comments originally, they said, no, he's got to be he's the center. He's got to be the front. No, that's not your center. I thought I said a bad word. Dingus, that's not the center. That's the guard. Full helmet offsides. And the ball has not been snapped yet. And obviously, you see how far back Edgerrin Cooper is. And like Jacob said, he does creep up a little bit before the ball snapped. This was the closest frame I could get on my phone of when the ball snapped. So that's the last time we're going to talk about it. We'll move on from it. It ain't the last time we're going to talk about it.
I was going to say, I'll talk about that 100 times more.
We're going to try to move on from it anyway. The other thing I wanted to hit on real quick, let's go to the chat, and then we'll go to Week 18 real quick. Andy Watkins in the chat. On a positive note, Malik Heath. Jacob, didn't you call that? You called
I did.
That.
I
now,
did.
Listen, I'm going to let you run a half victory lap. All right. It was one catch for 3 yards. But boy, it was a big touchdown, wasn't it?
He played like 4 snaps, didn't he?
Right. Yeah. Yep.
4 important snaps. Yes, sir.
Yeah, blocking dudes into the water cooler and catching a tutter, and then, all right, just another day. See you next week.
Has there ever been a time that you've seen Malik Heath and you go, man, I don't trust his hands? He's got strong hands.
Yeah, dude. He's a physical receiver. Real physical guy.
Love that we're going to have
That's
him
the
back.
dude you want on the field when you see your guys getting pushed around a little bit and guys aren't blocking well. I'm calling up 18, put him out there, have him smack somebody right in their face and fire up the team. That's what he is. He's a spark plug on this offense.
Yeah. Coach Lynn says, wanted to see more 12 personnel. I haven't got it charted yet or anything in that regard, Coach. I may not. That's a good point. It did feel like we were in 11 all night long. Like you didn't see a whole lot of 12, right? So I think that's probably accurate. And then Coach Lambeau is fast, but he's not 6'4". That's the thing, right? About Christian Watson, no doubt. So, all right, let's go to, before we go to Week 18, let's go to the PFF recap real quick. We got about 9 minutes. We'll probably hit the Week 18 stuff tonight, if that's all right with you guys. But I wanted to hit this recap, and it'll show us the snaps and all that stuff, because in the fog of war, like you really don't realize exactly how the game went. We won't read the entire article. You guys go check it out on pff.com with the recap. The highest graded players, though, defensive lineman Devontae White at an 88.9. Now, keep in mind, these are preliminary grades, all right? The grades are not finished yet, so this could fluctuate a little bit. But early on, Devontae White, 88.9. That's
man. I hope he's okay.
Yeah, what was the injury there, Tim?
I think it was concussion also. I think, but don't quote me on that. That's pure speculation. But here we go again, man. Guys getting hot, doing what we need him to do. He's grading out right, playing it. Yep, just like Quay. And then injuries, and it just shows you, man. That's how this league is. At any moment, it can happen to anyone, and it's tough. Yeah, Drew D. Okay, yeah. So I was thinking correct. All right, it is a concussion. You never want to hear that. You never want to hear it. Unfortunately, it's part of the game at this point. And everybody's different, right? We saw Rome miss, a handful of games because of a concussion, and then you'll see guys that clear a protocol and they come back the following week. We saw that with Quay earlier this year. So, we'll see how it goes, but it's always tough to see that. Devontae White has been playing such good ball lately, and I hope he doesn't miss too much time, honestly.
Yeah, and listen, Wayne and or White and Zane with the concussions, I don't think there's any chance they see the field next week, personally.
Oh, no. Yeah.
I think you just, let's let that ride, get them completely out of concussion protocol, and be good to go. Omer in the chat, I don't agree completely with Omer. He said Packers should rest all their starters and prepare for the Eagles. Wash winning next week. We're going to be the 7th seed. Don't need anyone injured in a meaningless game.
One could say that preparing for the Eagles would mean playing some guys.
The Bears, right? Yeah. And that's where I disagree with you, Omer. I understand. I think I agree on the surface there. Like, hey, look, if anybody's banged up, if anybody's less than 100%, don't put them out there. Let them get rested up for the playoffs. I'm okay with the 7 seed. I'd rather have a healthier roster. But as far as sitting all the starters, I definitely disagree.
I'd put them all in, go up early, put the 3, 4, 5 score lead on the Bears, and then start pulling guys off the field, right?
Yeah, and
at least let them play.
And here's the thing: if we lose to the Bears next week, it's not the end of the world. I can see a scenario where that happens.
Whoa. Come on.
This is where Jacob's positivity ends. Listen, man, any given Sunday, anything can happen. The thing that we do have on our side, though, sometimes you go into that final week and a team has an opportunity to play the spoiler, right? To play the spoiler, and they can kind of knock you out of the playoffs. That's not the case here at all, right? So if I'm the Bears organization and I have people banged up, this is just me personally, I'm going, boys, we care too much about you to put you on the field. All right. And let's try to get a little bit better draft pick. It's probably what's going to happen.
Honestly, yeah.
I see that happening. I really do. I don't like that attitude, but that's probably what will happen on Chicago's side too. So there'll be a little bit of that on both sides for sure. But Omer, again, I understand what you're saying there. I don't agree completely, but if the guys that are banged up, absolutely, man, do not let them see the field.
Do you think it's a similar argument as to like guys need to play in the preseason as to like towards the end of it? Once you've locked in a playoff victory, I feel like there's that same, like, I don't want rust on our guys. I don't want them sitting out. And I know that it might benefit certain players because of health stuff, help them, heal up, that kind of thing. But I also want them to play sharp. So I don't know you split that hair. But
no, I'm completely on board with that because that rust is a real thing. I mean, how many times have we seen it?
Yep.
You know, it happens all the time in the league. Coach Lynn in the chat. That's the other thing about Philly. Everybody's talking about Philly. Boy, they're hot. They're hot. They're hot. Yeah, they are. They're a well-rounded team, no doubt about it. Nick Sirianni, one of the most underappreciated coaches in the league right now. But you've had Jalen Hurts, who's missed time with the concussion. He's going to be a little rusty too. There's a chance for that. There really is. Coach Lynn in the chat said 2 weeks we should get everyone back, including Ja. I hope so, Coach. And again, this is what I was talking about. This feels like Bakhtiari. Like how many times we said, "Oh, he'll definitely be ready for that. He'll definitely be good for that." And then you look up and he wasn't ready. Right, the knee was mangled. So I hope you're right, Coach. I think that's a fair assessment. Baby 100, yeah, baby 100. I love it. Let Jacobs get 31 more rushing yards to be the 5th all-time in Packers history. All right, okay. Let him get 31 yards and pull him out of the game. Is that what he's saying there?
I hope.
When he says 5th all-time in Packers history, are we talking about in one season? In a season?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, damn, he already got that many rushing yards in 1 year.
He's been here 45 minutes. How did he climb that high up the list?
Right. All right, so we got that hit. Yeah, again, I wanted to hit on those. Let's look at the snap count real quick, and then we'll get out of here, guys. This is a fun show, man. The chat has been unbelievable. We appreciate y'all more than you know. Let's see here. It's going down. Bang, bang, bang. Packers offensive play snaps. So this will tell us how often we were in 12 personnel. Yeah, look at this. Tucker Kraft, 53 snaps. Luke Musgrave, 12. Ben Sims, 3. John Fitzpatrick, 2. So there's a chance that Musgrave was on the field when Kraft wasn't. But let's just assume that these snaps here total will equal how many times we were in 12 personnel. That'd be 12 plus 3 is 5. So that's 17 snaps in 12 personnel. It's probably less than that. But out of a total of 62, yeah, me no likey that, Jan. I don't like that ratio. I'd like to see a little more 12. And you guys know I love 11 personnel. I love 11. But probably should have been 12 a little bit more like Coach Lynn was saying. So anything you guys want to hit on there with the snap count in terms of that?
Malik, definitely more than 4. 15 snaps to dog.
Yeah, with Christian being out, you know, pressing it out a little bit more. It looked like him and Bo kind of split the load there, 16 and 15, right?
Yep.
And Romeo Doubs led the way with 53 snaps. Dontavion Wicks with 46. Jaden Reed with 44. So they are not giving up on Wicks, boys, and I'm glad they're not. I think he's still going to be a good receiver in this league.
Me too. I thought he had a really good game. I thought he played really well.
And there's a really good chance that you're going to lose one of either Romeo Doubs or Christian Watson in free agency, right? There's a decent chance that you're only going to be able to sign one. You're going to need Wicks to be prepared to step into that void.
Dude, are we ready to make it? That's a Sophie's choice for me, man. I can't figure it out. I keep going back and forth. There's been multiple times we've had that conversation. If you're referring to Christian Watson or Romeo Doubs, yes, sir. Yeah.
And there's been times I've been Dobbs. There's times I've been Christian. And again, what it comes down to is what do those players do specifically on the offense? What position do they play? Romeo Doubs plays boundary X. When Romeo missed with the suspension and the concussion, they really liked putting Dontavion Wicks in the X. So with the writing on the wall, that would suggest to me they would keep Christian because no other receiver on this team is 6'4" that has that combination in speed, right? So to me, it would be keep Watson, let Romeo walk, and put Dontavion Wicks in the boundary X because of his route running ability. And, of course, Jaden Reed, your slot receiver. And then you got Bo Melton as that backup speed guy. You got Malik Heath as that backup hands guy, that physical receiver.
Malik would probably be the guy that if we lose Rome, you probably see Malik step into that kind of possession receiver, hands receiver kind of role, right?
In a backup sense, I think so.
Yeah.
No. I think so. So you got kind of a bully there, right, at that backup boundary X. Now, here's the thing, too, with the boundary X. If you look at Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson, how many boxes do each of them check, right? Hands. Who's got the best hands, Romeo Doubs or Christian Watson? I think Romeo Doubs.
At this point, but Scoots has gotten a lot better with his.
I swear, though, if you look at the drops, I think that would honestly make us look stupid because I think Christian has like 3 drops in the last 2 years.
So let's call the hands a push. I know many Romeo Doubs fans are going to be mad about that, and I understand because he's got amazing hands. But let's say that aspect's a push, right? Route running. I would give the route running to Doubs.
I was just going to say, you might have to lean with Rome there.
Yeah. Now, speed. Christian Watson.
Yeah,
obviously.
Height and leaping ability, right?
Scoot.
Christian Watson.
Yep.
Right?
But still, what about contested catches? I still go Dobbs.
No, yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point. I think it's.
But again, Scoot has gotten better at those.
And he's better at those as well. Absolutely. Yeah.
So you got one receiver ascending. The other dude has been good for over a year now, I think, at both, right? Now, here's probably the tiebreaker. Matt LaFleur, what's he say? No block, no block, no rock, right?
Yeah, Scoot's taking
Who's
that
the
one.
better blocker?
Scoot.
Christian Watson. That's why I'm leaning toward Christian. I hope they keep both of them somehow, some way. That's why you got to go early, but they're not going to do that. It's probably going to be Christian Watson. So your boundary X will be Dontavion Wicks stepping into that role, right? And again, we're talking 2 years down the road, guys. They're under contract next year. So this is caviar problem. What's that I was saying? They used to say caviar problems.
First world problems.
This show sucks. Let's get out of here. You want to? What just happened here? I just had a mini seizure on the.
We got the whole off season to talk about all that crap, right?
Exactly. All right, so go ahead, Jake.
Someone in the chat was asking how many snaps did Coop got. Champagne problems. Yeah. It's like Jay-Z says, 99 problems, but actually he's got a few.
Oh, look here, boys. Adrian Cooper, 71 snaps, Tim.
Let's go.
Now, Eric Wilson, 72. All right. So what's your problem, Jacob?
Just the chat.
Just the chat. I'm ignoring it. Looking at the snaps here. Let's go. How about Adrian Cooper? 71 snaps. I love it.
Again, we were in nickel all day long, right? So we were probably in nickel when they were in base or when they were in their 12 or 21, whatever they run for base. The reason I say that's because they're a pass-happy team. We talked about it. They threw the ball like 58% of the time, right? So you probably, in many occasions, even though they were in their kind of their base sets, you were probably choosing to let's lean on our nickel, right? Because they're probably going to throw out of it anyway. But nonetheless, Eric Wilson, 72. Adrian Cooper, 71. Javon Bullard, 68 snaps at safety is what it's saying. Keyshawn Nixon, 72 snaps at corner. Carrington Ballantyne, 72, boys. So Eric Stokes, 34. They finally turned the page with Carrington Ballantyne, it looks like.
And I thought, he played about as good as you can play against Justin Jefferson, man. I
agree.
I thought he had a really good game. Can't wait to see see how he graded out.
Yeah.
Are you surprised at the snap counts for Gary, for Cox, and then Vaness? Does that show that? Like you guys know, I'm a Brenton Cox fanboy for the rest of my life. I will always be. I'm very surprised he had more snaps than Lucas Vaness. We have an undrafted free agent versus.
Oh no! This is how it was last week, Jacob.
Yeah.
Okay. Snaps. Yeah. They're really giving him every opportunity to.
And I think he got a sack, didn't he?
No, it was just Carl Brooks that had the sack, I believe.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
Let me double check. I could be wrong. I think there was only one sack, and I think it was just Carl Brooks' sack.
Gotcha.
So, but there was
Barry seems to be the favorite over there lately.
Right.
He seems to be getting the most action.
And am I the only one that disagrees with that? Like
no, you're not. You're not. I'm on point with that too, and I think Enigbari is a great player, but I don't see him outsnapping Rashawn and you know what I mean? Like I just
so that kind of makes me think that something happened to Gary. Maybe he got a little banged up at some point, might have broke a shoelace, something like that, had to come out of the game. I don't think that was by design. Hey, I don't think they went in the week going, let's get Kingsley more snaps than Gary, right?
Yeah,
because Gary's been playing really solid here lately. TJ Slayton with 29. Now, all these numbers are inflated because they had the ball a lot, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, again, that whole it's pretty evident to me.
What about Devontae with only 12? That kind of makes me a little bit.
Well, he got hurt, right?
He got hurt.
Oh, Wyatt did get hurt?
Yeah, he got a concussion. Yeah, that's what we're talking about earlier. So Carrington is officially your number 2 corner, I believe. Well, number 3 corner, I should say, right? Because Keyshawn Nixon. That's the big takeaway for me is that. And there was one more too. Adrian Cooper from here on out. He may not wear the green dot, but that dude, if they can get him on the field, he's going to be on the field rightfully so. And again, as we talked about earlier, what was his grade early on? Yeah, 80.5. Man, he's probably going to jump up a little bit further. he'll probably be like the 7th or the 6th highest graded linebacker in the league now this week.
Defensive Rookie of the Year. Let's go.
Should be, man.
Should.
And that's the thing too. Remember, we were talking about Evan Williams early in the year, right?
Yeah.
And here he's been banged up. Like, and don't get me wrong, his play has tapered off, which is understandable, right? As a rookie, hopefully he gets back to that form that he had there in the first his first 3 or 4 starts. But Edgerrin Cooper though, he's a dog, man. We got us one there. That's awesome. So, all right, Nick says any word on Evan Williams? I haven't heard anything. To me, that's probably the one that worries me the most for the playoffs because
quad injury, right?
It was a quadricep. I think it happened in practice, and just the way everybody acted about it, it wasn't like, he's just day to day. To me, it seemed like LaFleur was a little standoffish. I could be wrong. I could have misread that, but hopefully he's going to be okay for sure though. So, there you go. Once again, Justin Jefferson's the player of the game according to PFF. Of course, without Jair, the Jair talk's going to continue to get loud, man. And it's tough, dude. It's tough. It's tough. Tough break all the way around for the fans, for the team, for Jair. Now, never mind. I ain't gonna hit on it. Somebody made
things could be a lot worse. I could be a Bears fan.
Somebody made a comment on it, and trying to think of how I could say this. They seem to think that Jair is not going to be back next year. All right, but I will say this.
Based on their feelings, or
I think it might have been based on some alcohol, but we'll just leave it there. All right, we'll leave it there. So do what you want with that. All right, we're going to get out of here. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us. This was fun. We'll be back tonight, 7 p.m. Central. I'm going to try to get Chalk Talk ready for tomorrow. Of course, Mike Witt. Don't get me divorced.
I was going to say.
Mike Witt with the super chat. Appreciate you, buddy. He says, hey, guys, is it me or has X been very quiet since the bye week? I think we are still a year away. Hopefully I'm wrong. Yeah, the thing with X and the reason he got quiet is teams stopped testing him, right? Yep. Yeah. And you're going to see the replay from yesterday where the ball's flying over X's head, and it's like, oh, did he blow a coverage? Based off everything I've seen, it looked like Javon Bullard was supposed to match the 2 on that side, so that wasn't actually X. That was just
like KLC was scheming around that, right?
Exactly what he was doing.
Yeah.
So when you say quiet, Mike, I think and maybe you meant it this way, and that's okay. We can agree to disagree if you did. Many people would take that as he's playing bad. I don't think he's playing bad. I think the teams are going, do not throw the ball near that guy anymore. Yep. He's a ball hawk.
And when you start the year as hot as McKinney started this season, it's really tough to just stay on that kind of trajectory all year. You're going to go up and down, and then you start the year with 6 or 7 picks. It's on tape. Teams don't want to throw at you. They're going to scheme around it.
That's what Drew said here in the chat too, as well. Drew, to your point, Tim, he says also there's no way McKinney could keep up what he was doing early on.
A true point.
I mean, like he was getting like a pick and a half a game to start. Like it was insane.
Yeah, and again, Mike Witt, thank you for the super chat, bud. We appreciate you. And Biz says Bullard or X, who you throwing to? LOL. There you go. I'm throwing to Bullard all day long. So.
Yep.
All right, good deal, man. Again, Mike, thank you, buddy. Didn't mean to rush through that, but thank you for the super chat. We got to get out of here. We're over on time. We will see y'all tonight, 7 p.m. Central. As Holmes says, the show and the chat sucks. Have a good day, PTA. I appreciate it. It does suck. Thanks, everybody. Listen, tough loss, right? Talked about last night. But damn, I love our listeners. I love what we've created here with the chat. Like we have some people come through that show their rear end, right? I got you. But for the most part, we have some of the most a good chunk of the reasonable, section of the fan base that come in here and actually want to talk about ball and want to talk what actually happened and not overreact emotionally. It's just awesome. I appreciate you guys more than you know. Jacob, Tim, thank you guys too. Appreciate you. All right, we're out. We'll see y'all tonight, 7 p.m. Central. We'll do a full PFF recap. We'll have all the grades, see who shined, who didn't, and then we'll get Chalk Talk ready for you, hopefully on Tuesday. Just depends on with the holiday. We may get shuffled around a little bit. Anyway, we'll talk to you later.
Then we go. We out.
Bye, guys.